Good, I brought a flashlight. It's dark already and I cannot see anything. Wookie said I needed the grave of the slave Cobin who died 150 years ago. Suddenly something dark appeared over me. Oh, what's that? A raven sat down on a gravestone. I turned my flashlight there and shuddered. The grave had a name similar to mine on it, Emelia. With a trembling hand, I turned the flashlight down and screamed in horror. The stone had my surname and my date of birth on it. I ran away in panic, and the voice in my head was repeating, "You found me." Hi, Emily here. My side aches for many days in a row, and to make matters worse, the painkillers stopped helping for some reason. I've just come home after visiting a dog. He claims I'm fine. There's nothing in my body to cause this pain. I have a huge scar on that side that hurts, but it has nothing to do with the pain. I have it since I was little, and the pain started only recently. Mom claims that when I was a little girl, I fell onto some metal sheets and tore my side so badly it had to be sutured. Well, if the doctors are unable to help me, I must do it myself. I'd spent a month on forums and came to the conclusion I was experiencing a phantom pain. If this is so, the scar is not after a fall. Mom, you'll tell me everything now. My parents weren't looking at me and obviously were not willing to speak. Oh, come on! I must know. If I do, I'll feel better and there's a good chance the pain subsides or even stops. Mom started speaking. You see, Emily, we just didn't want to upset you. You don't remember this, but when you were 3, we all got into a car accident. The blow fell on the back seat and the doctors fought for your life for a long time. That's where you got those scars from. Oh, jeez. I understand why you didn't want to tell me about it, and thank you for sharing it. It was hard to fall asleep that night. I was thinking about that crash and tried to remember at least something, but I couldn't. And then someone clearly pronounced in my head, "Let's play hide and seek, Emily." Who's there? What is this? Mom, Dad, come here, please. My parents came all worried, but I couldn't confess I heard a voice. Just sit here with me for a while, please. I feel anxious after that story of yours. In the morning, my pain intensified so much I was ready for anything. Maybe a psychic could help me stop this suffering and tell me why did this car crash happen. I'd seen a psychic called Wookie on the same forum where I'd read about phantom pain, and I made an appointment. Wookie, you see, I came with an unusual case and I don't know if you can help me. I've been having terrible phantom pain in my side recently. He interrupted me saying, yeah, you have a huge scar on your side after that car crash. I was dumbstruck and he got to his crystal ball, waved his hands around it and then claimed this was a clear sign of a past life's conflict. But to make it clear, we needed at least one more session. It would cost more. I've brought you all my savings today. I don't have anything else. I think I shouldn't have come here. It's time I leave. The psychic came closer, stared at me and said, "You'll come back, because this night your pain intensifies. This will be a sign I'm right." I don't remember how did I manage to come home. I felt dizzy and couldn't even have lunch. Mom tried to find out what happened. I'm fine. I've just read too much on the web and need some time to let it all sink in. I fell asleep soon and even had a dream, but then someone called me. I could hear clearly, "Come on, Emily, count to 10 and come seek me." But I had no time to get scared. Terrible pain pierced my side. It felt worse than anything I had before. Seems I have to visit that Wookie again, but where to get money? Maybe I could borrow some from the vault while my parents were asleep. So I did and ran to Wookie in the morning. Wookie, now I'm hearing voices too. Someone calls me again and again to play hide and seek. He closed his eyes and waved his hands around the ball for a long time. Then he lit a candle and was making smoky figures in the air. Finally he started. Emily, 150 years ago you were a male slave of one American plantation owner. He loved you and put you in charge. You had way more freedom than the others. Then an evil man came and offered you to sell your master for a lot of money, and you agreed. When the evil man got the plantation, he killed you as he needed no traitors around him, and he did so with a blow of a knife to your side. The voice in your head is your connection to the past. You are urged to find your own grave and ask your ashes to leave the pain and treason in the past. Look for a gravestone with the name Cobin. I had no time to postpone it. The pain could intensify any minute. That same evening I went to the oldest city cemetery. Several hours of searching brought no result. It became dark and so scary. Odd noises were coming from all sides, and suddenly something dark appeared over me. Oh, what's that? It was a raven. It sat down on a gravestone and stared at me. I turned my flashlight there with a trembling hand and shuddered. The grave had a name similar to mine on it, Emelia. I turned my flashlight down and screamed in horror. There was my surname and date of birth on it. I ran away in panic, and the voice in my head repeated, "You found me, Emily. Now it's my turn to seek. Hide, hide." I saw a guard and clutched to his hand. "Please save me from the voice. I've done terrible things in my previous life. I'm finished." I cried hysterically, and then I fell into darkness. Mom, Dad, where am I? Is this a hospital? A psychiatrist entered and said I had a nervous breakdown. He asked what happened before the voice appeared in my head and before that hallucination with the grave. I had to tell him everything, and the doc concluded Wookie was a typical quack who used the non-scientific method of hypnosis to make compulsions and to intensify my pain. Hallucinations were usual in such a condition. But why do I have this pain? It's real just as the voice in my head. And then my parents confessed. It turned out I had a Siamese twin, Emelia. We were conjoined with our sides. In that car crash, she suffered more and had no chance to survive. Doctors, together with my parents, decided to split us up urgently, trying to save my life, and part of her organs was given to me. The doctor suggested the voice in my head was my sister's voice, that my brain remembered and was replaying it now due to the hard stress I was experiencing. Mom confirmed Sis and I loved playing hide and seek when we were 3. One of us thought of a place she was hiding in, and the other had to guess. My parents and the doc left to discuss my rehabilitation, and I need to think how to get out of here. It's obvious that's all nonsense, and my sister didn't die. She lives in me. Emelia, I'll find a way to free you. Hold on. Did you like the video? Then subscribe and like. Support the channel. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ella, and this is my sister Emma. We are 16 years old. We are very close. Terribly close. Horribly close. Have you ever wanted the person closest to you to leave you alone forever? Watch the video to the end and find out how I tried to make this dream come true. My sister and I are Siamese twins. They say twins are alike, but we are very different. I'm smart and calm, and she's stupid, but she always wants to be first in everything. One day, she joins the school band. Another day, she joins the scouts. And maybe I want to read in silence, not listen to their music and not deliver stupid cookies. She's also setting me up. She makes me scream and then complains to my parents that I'm hurting her. She doesn't care about me at all. As she says, so it will be. We'll go where she says, and we'll wear what she says, and we'll go out with her friends, not mine. We don't even have common friends. Once I was so annoyed with her that I didn't speak for a week, and no one noticed except our parents. They worry about us. They want us both to be happy. No way. As long as a useless appendage named Emma sticks out of my body, I won't be happy. Not only does she make me look like a freak, but she's bossing me around. That's all right with Emma. Emma's fine. No one seems to notice what a bitch she is. I once asked my folks who they liked more, me or her. They hesitated, saying that we were too different and they loved both. They evaded the question. Are all children in your family loved equally or one more than the other? I wanted to get up and leave and slam the door to let them know I was not kidding. But Their Majesty Emma had not yet designed to finish eating. She eats so much that we will soon be wildly fat. Well, I had to stay. And then we got a letter that we are so unique, and if we want to participate in a photo shoot to help children with special needs who are less lucky than us, it's like working as a freak in a circus. Let everyone see how we inspire with our misery to live. I said that I wasn't going anywhere. I didn't have any special features, and that some appendage on my body thought too much of itself, and it was not my problem. And Emma waited until I fell asleep and wrote to them, saying we really dreamed to wriggle in front of the camera. And then what? We had to go. Since we promised. I thought I'd let Emma be a clown and try not to burn with shame, as I always did. But she started yelling at me that I sat on my hands when I had to work, and it began, chin up, smile wider, cover your eyes. She chased me around like a soldier on parade. She even bit me once. When we were driving home from this disgrace, I fell asleep and I had a dream. I often dreamed of it. As I walked down the street, alone, and no one howled in my ear and no one decided for me where to go, that I was on my own. I woke up happy. Then I saw that Emma was still with me and I almost cried with despair. Well, that's okay. I heard that Siamese twins were separated, and there were successful operations. Maybe we would finally be separated. I spent the entire evening on the internet reading how it happened. It turned out that there were chances. It was a good thing that Emma was chatting with her friends in the chat and didn't see what I was doing. That stupid photo shoot made a big fuss. Everyone was already staring at us, and now our photos were all over the web. We were sent a ton of messages in all social networks about how cool and unusual we were. I sent them all to spam, and Emma replied saying, thank you. It's so nice that you appreciate our experience and efforts." And we were called to star in cool projects. Emma was delighted. I really wanted to shoot her down, to say that soon we would be separate, and when we stopped being a mistake of nature, no one would need us, neither together nor separately. But somehow I felt sorry for her. She was so genuinely happy, as if she had suddenly become a cool actress. And then we got a call from a cool photographer. I forgot his last name, but his photos were in the National Gallery, and he offered a lot of money. He wanted to film us as a servant and mistress. Kind of subtle psychology. It was insightful, but terribly offensive. I thought I would be mistress, of course. Well, I had a calmer face and I was more beautiful. And on the set, it turned out that this bitch, Emma, also wanted to be the main. The real life was not enough for her. I asked what to do, and the photographer said that it was our decision who would be who. We were equal participants in the project. I tried to resolve this issue with Emma peacefully. Anyway, it didn't work out. When we finished fighting, the photographer demanded that we be taken home. He said that he was giving us a second chance, but if we failed him, he would not only break the contract with us, but also demand money for broken equipment and wasted nerves. We didn't speak to each other for 3 days, and I knew it was time. Over dinner, I told my mom, dad, and Emma that I wanted the operation. And so that it wouldn't all turn into chatter again, I added that my decision was final. Wouldn't you like to have your own body and personal space if you were me? My mother fainted. Literally, can you imagine? Dad brought her back, but forbade me to continue discussing the subject. They had thought about it enough since we were little, and I should stop upsetting my mother. As if this was Mom's problem and not ours. He told Emma and me to go up to our room and discuss the matter with each other. Emma asked me why I needed to be separated. Well, really, she was like stupid. I told her about my dreams, about the thrill of finally being alone in my body. And Emma suddenly began to cry. And she said she didn't know how bad and too closely to her I felt. She finally noticed that too often things didn't go my way, that she put pressure on me, subdued me, and all that. I told her it was nice to hear her getting smarter, but I wouldn't change my mind. It was the first time in my life that I was taken seriously. My parents even took us to a clinic that separated twins. We were examined in every possible way, and then the doctor gave us his decision. They could divide us, but not quite well. I mean, I would be almost fine, except I would be limp. That was nothing, but Emma would have a hard time. What can I say? Not everything is equally divided. Well, her body would be so not modeling. I thought Emma was going to throw a tantrum, but she looked me in the eye and suddenly said she was willing to have a prosthetic and everything else. I wigged out, but said I didn't want to decide anything right now, but that I'd think about it. Emma, as if was replaced. She was silent all the way home, and after that, and the next morning, she didn't fight with me in the bathroom about who should brush her teeth first. She didn't argue at breakfast. It was good, but it didn't feel like Emma was there, but like a complete stranger. Emma's silence made it hard for me, and I asked her what she would do if the operation took place. She replied that she would go to another city and live all alone to get used to her independent body. I was in shock. I mean, I thought we'd just be separate, get up at different times, go about our own business, but we'd still be together. One family. I realized that even though I wasn't a fan of Emma, I would miss her very much. Then I had a dream, not the same as usual. I was alone in the body again, but now I was running around the city looking for someone. I couldn't remember who I was looking for. Name, voice, facial features. I was insanely lonely. I woke up screaming. Emma woke up too and whispered to me that it was only a dream, that everything was all right. I told her what I had dreamed and added that there would be no surgery, because we were not just me and her. It was more than that. Two people who could work together in one body, and we had no one closer to each other. Emma promised that she would try to annoy me less and put less pressure on me, but I also had to help her, to tell her when her wants went too far. We got to talking, and that was enough. We just made up. I think if we were separate and just lived in the same room, we would fight no less and loved each other too. Who will wake me up when I have nightmares? Emma leaves. Who will drag me out of the house and not let me be ashamed of what we are? I also asked Emma to be a maid at the photo shoot. You won't believe it, but she agreed. I still want to be separate, but this is very scary. After talking to the doctors, I realized why my parents had long ago forbidden me to raise this topic. It's a choice between my freedom and Emma's health. Did you like my story? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. There are many more stories. Don't forget to click the bell icon so that you don't miss anything. Good day to you and sincere intimacy.